Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Summer travel plans may not have worked out as expected. Todd Joseph Serenzinski, age 55, is in Hopkins County Jail Wednesday, charged with hinder apprehension or prosecution known felon and with permit facilitate escape correctional facility after his near-around trip to Tuesday drive from Hopkins County Civic Center to near Athens and back to Hopkins County. He didn't make it back to the Civic Center, but was stopped on the southern edge of the county and transported to jail. Serenzinski gave a ride to Barney Dwayne Eby, age 55, who walked away from a work group at the local Civic Center. According to Sheriff Louis Tatum, Eby had made reservations earlier with Serenzinski and another individual expected to be arrested on Wednesday. The two had become acquainted in the jail prior to Tuesday's flight. Serenzinski was in jail until Monday for a 75-day commit for violation of probation for driving while intoxicated second. He had been released after serving his time. Serenzinski is now residing in Hopkins County Jail, being held on a total of $100,000 in bonds. It took the day and assistance from a number of agencies, but Hopkins County Sheriff's deputies brought in Barney Dwayne Eby, age 53, and his accomplice Todd Joseph Serenzinski, age 55. Eby fled a work group at Hopkins County Civic Center Tuesday morning around 8 a.m. He was found west of Athens late Tuesday afternoon. Sheriff Louis Tatum talked to KSST News about the apprehension of Eby, the number of agencies involved in the apprehension, and he also said that the work of the inmates will continue after they take a breather on Wednesday.
I was informed yesterday morning that by the Civic Center that one of our trustees had walked off. Luckily the Civic Center caught it real quick. When they did, we had Hopkins County SO, Sulphur Springs PD, the school district police showed up, helped us, DPS, all got on board real quick. Glenda Chester with the school system, police department, located some video of a vehicle real quick she believed may have been involved. We found some more video from the Civic Center. Got the scent dogs out of the choice morgue unit out of Bonham to come up, and they searched the area to eliminate whether he had been in, got in a vehicle or walked off, and they could prove that they believed that he drove off in a vehicle. So at that time, we started working on that aspect of it, the truck and all. And all the investigators, everybody jumped in like always, and was able to get some information. And we started tracking him. We tracked him down to Henderson County. We got down to Henderson County. We met with sheriff down there in Henderson County, Bodie Hillhouse, and his chief deputy Kevin Halbert, and they were very helpful. Give us all the help we could use down there, along with DPS and the U.S. Marshals came in to help us. By that time, Texas Ranger John Vance was on location. After doing some more interviewings and some more evidence, found some more evidence of where exactly they later found out where the guy dropped him off. Or getting ready to look for him there, they tracked the vehicle that took him down there, coming back to Hopkins County, and placed that subject in custody just inside of Hopkins County here the evening before we ever started the ground search down there for the suspect that got away. But they arrested a Todd Serwinski, 55-year-old white male, for hindering apprehension or prosecution of a known felon and permit felicitate escape from a correctional facility. He was placed in custody and transported up here. At that time, we were all still down there. They got some canine unit out of the Telford unit in New Boston, and they got some pack dogs out of a unit in Palestine. And these guys knew what they were doing. They turned those pack dogs loose and they ran him south from where we were at, and they ended up catching him about 1,000 yards north of Highway 175, which runs into Athens. It took them over an hour, and I know once they got them up the road, the dogs, the horses, and all the prison guards, they were definitely tired. The suspect that was then transported by EMS to Athens to the hospital, where he still is in the ER. Hopefully he'll get released today and bring him back. But the Barney Eby, 53-year-old white male, he'd been planning this for a while with this other guy that was also an inmate at the same, and they'd worked together. The other one had gotten out on over the weekend and got in a vehicle, and they had it all planned out. I mean, it's just one of them things that happens. The bad thing is we got all these trustees working all over the county, and they save the taxpayers a lot of money. They built this farm, and they're quite upset too, because they work real hard to get to where they're at.
Let me pursue the escapee for just a second. Was he from the Athens area? Was there a reason for him to go to Athens, or that Henderson County?
Yeah. This same subject allegedly had stole a skid steer loader from the construction site on I-30. Okay. The investigators here, Corley Weatherford, them had tracked it down and recovered it not very far from where we was at down there. So he was known to this area. The subject house that he was dropped off at in Henderson County, I expect he has not been arrested yet. He will be arrested today, charged with the same as the one that picked him up.
Now, the Sandinsky man, was he from here, or where was he from?
He has lived here and numerous other places also. He just met him by being in jail with him, and a lot of times, we'll get information that this is going on, it's what you hope. This case, we didn't. It's just one of them things that it happened. Ain't nothing else you can say.
You said that the other trustees, the other inmates are upset about this. Are they afraid that some of their privileges are going to be revoked from work?
I don't know if it's as much as that is they worked so hard to get to where they're at. They worked so hard to build this farm. And I don't know if you saw them. We had crews out there that pulled it, that took the football stadium down, took the baseball stadium down, and those guys that worked out there pulling that sod off that field. I watched them guys do that, and that was very, very hard work, because they did that by hand, and they're very proud of what they did. Very proud of what they did. And they want to hold their head up and show people what they did. And now you got one guy that does this, which, you sit back and think in my position, it'd be easier just to lock them all up and sit right here. But that's not right either. We got to continue on working. We sure can't stop with the farm now. And we're not going to punish the taxpayers for something somebody like that did.
Will this cause any increased surveillance when groups are out working?
I think what we're going to do, I talked to Kenneth Dean, and everybody's going to sit down and take a deep breath today. We're going to bring in everybody, not bring in everybody, but when the guys come in that are working them, and I'm sure they're checking themselves too now, and the trustees themselves, and just talk to everybody, and we're going to have to get back to work.
Do you think that this is going to cause the inmates to be a little more vigilant as well, and maybe inform you when something like this is taking on?
I think it caused them to police themselves, and I think that's a good thing, that they will police themselves. You have an individual that will rise above the rest. You do that in anywhere you go, whether it's an inmate or at work, and he's just a natural. And they'll want to do good. They like to do good work, and they want to help the others. You know, we've got some that's went through this program up here, and I talked to one this morning. I mean, he's out there working just like anyone else, doing a good job. And we got some ladies out there working, doing a good job. And you know, it hurts them too that they went through this program. Then somebody else comes up and does this selfish and messes it up, or tries to mess it up for everyone.
Are there any specific things that you do with the inmates before you take them out, or before you begin to allow them to go out? I mean, do you give them any kind of instructions?
Oh yeah, they go through Kenneth Dean, our jail administrator. He interviews them before he ever makes them a trustee, and of course we have information of all their next of kin. That's basically why we caught this one so fast. It's all the information we already had, getting the information out of his property back there where he, you know, any numbers he wrote down. You can do anything to find them, but he interviews them. I talk with them. Some of them that I get a chance to be around myself, and you know, we try to treat them like, or I do, try to treat them like normal people, which they are. They made mistakes, and try to show them that they can be a good citizen, tax-paying citizen in this county just like everybody else. And that's what we're trying to do, other than save people money also. You got 100-something people up here, you'll be able to save somebody some money. And they've done a lot of work for the school system, like I said. Well, they've worked for the Civic Center, I know, over 20 years. And you think what it'd cost the county to hire 3 or 4 people full-time to do the labor they do out there?
I know some may want to question, are there those inmates that are rejected from this program, and in other words, not allowed to go out on this program?
Yes. We, sex offenders, a lot of them we do not work. Now, of course, they've got any kind of murder charges or anything like that, we don't let them out and work. Any escapers prior to, we're very hesitant to letting them work. There's numerous things that, you know, that Kenneth and them back there check over before they make trustees out of them.
Today after people out working?
We've got a few people out working with of course, the farm. They're out there working at the farm. They ain't got no choice. We've got to take care of the farm. We've got too many animals out there, plus the garden. The ones around town working, we haven't got anybody out working today. We're, like I said, we're just taking a deep breath and like, oh my gosh, what happened? And Kenneth's gonna get with all the guys that are and girls that are taking them out, and have just a little talk with them in the morning, and then we're going to start issuing back out and get back to work. We've got a big 4th of July deal coming up this weekend. They're a big part of that. They always have been, setting all that stuff up on the square. And we're not going to punish the citizens of Hopkins County and Sulphur Springs because this one guy's wanting to be an idiot. You know, we're going to continue on doing what we're doing, keep our head up and keep working. And try to be more vigilant on if somebody's conspired to do this.
Work is underway to restore the Celebration Plaza glass restroom that was vandalized last week. Workers are redesigning the front door using a different hinge mechanism, as well as replacing the one-way mirrored glass panels. Cost of the repair for one shattered panel is over $2,500, which led to a state jail felony charge for Wesley Lane Cedillo, age 18, who shattered the panel with his ring. City Manager Mark Maxwell stated that the work has been delayed, awaiting the new hinge mechanism for the door.
With final details on the Independence concert on Celebration Plaza, Melita Reynolds, who's president of the Symphony League, tells us about food vendors and transportation. And local musician Kelly Fletcher will be featured as a soloist in a trumpet medley of 4 of the most beloved tunes of the war era. It will be a concert you won't forget, so plan to be there.
Start around 7:45 with the national anthem introductions. There'll be the march-in of the military coalition, and then the music will start at 8, and around 9:25, 9:30 will be the fireworks.
Okay, so it has to get good and dark.
Good and dark.
Okay.
Good and dark. Yes.
Well, thank you, Melita. And also with us is Kelly Fletcher, a friend of all of us. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning. Good to be here.
You, I hear, have a featured part in this year's concert.
I do.
Well, tell us about your music.
Well, I'm playing a Harry James medley, which the band I play in for over the past 31 years. I've done some Harry James features. I'm no Harry James, but I'll be playing a solo starting. It begins with You Made Me Love You. And then it will segue into It's Been a Long, Long Time, which segues into a fast version of Sleepy Time Gal. And then Sleepy Time Gal goes into a beautiful transition of You'll Never Know.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
And You'll Never Know is one of my favorite Harry James songs. And then that starts building back up, and we do a big reprise to the You Made Me Love You with a big ending, and the orchestration's phenomenal. I met with Steve Bayless yesterday in Dallas, and we went through everything, and I played through it with his background PDF, and it's very exciting and it's kind of scary.
So the first time that you will be with the orchestra will be in rehearsals on Saturday, is that right?
That's correct. All the musicians prepare in their own alone, and then they come together on Saturday afternoon and practice for a few hours, and that's a treat. If you can ever get backstage and watch them rehearse, that's just amazing. All the talent in one room, and then they'll be out on the square at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Well, Kelly plays trumpet. Now, I'm going to ask you if you play other instruments, or did you start out playing other instruments?
No one would pay me to play the other instruments, but I can play most of the other instruments due to being a band director. But as far as anyone hiring me to play something else, maybe the radio.
I know you play the radio.
I can just play the radio and listen to your show.
Well, trumpet takes the lead on so many beautiful songs that we know, and this medley of 4 is just close to the heart of so many people. It is wartime songs.
Yes, wartime songs that brought people together, and the men and women overseas. Women didn't get the press the men did, but the USO shows, dancing, the huge ballrooms, and the songs that related to the war efforts, and coming in on a wing and a prayer, and just various songs that touched the hearts of so many. And I think the greatest generation, those are our greatest generation, and my favorite generation of people.
And
era.
mine too. The reason we link those so closely with patriotic events is because the patriotism that was alive when those songs were written and listened to. Mm-hmm. So we like a lot of the same music. I know that you love music and have been in bands, orchestras, whatever, for all even before you were an adult. So when you came to Sulphur Springs as a junior in high school, you got into band here.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about your path.
Well, I was in school in Fort Worth 1st through 10th grade, and junior high, my band director was a trumpet player who was the leader of a big band in Fort Worth. And after school, he'd bring his giant books, and we had an after-school stage band. That's why, as a teacher, I wanted to give that back to my students, except I didn't have his books. So he allowed us to do that. We played at various functions. Sometimes here we are, little junior high kids, and we're playing at a country club. So that was probably where I really found a love for the big band music. And in high school, when I moved here, Rex Wallman was awesome to give us. We played a lot of big band music, played at different Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, different clubs in town, and a lot of functions. So he continued that music with us, along with more popular music. And then from there, college. And my last year in college was when Kip Martin, who's the big band man, and he did KETR station over in Commerce, which I listened to many nights coming back from gigs. Anyway, Kip heard me play with the Greenville Big Band, when I was in college. And from there, he made recordings of us when we did concerts, and he started sending band leaders a recording of me playing Charlie Spivak's Star Dreams. Jack Mellick, a phenomenal pianist and band leader in Dallas, he decided to give me a chance. I went over, played, and he liked what he heard, compared me to Elizabeth Rogers, and he liked having a woman in the band like Woody Herman did. And the rest is pretty much history. From
over 30 years with his orchestra.
Over 30 years that he's given me the opportunity to play, and in his quintet the past several years.
And cruises and appearances everywhere.
Well, considering the times, not as much as they did throughout their experience. He's nearly 88 this December, but I had opportunities that I would have never had without his allowing me to play.
And a little bit of mentorship.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, you taught here in Sulphur Springs.
I did, from 98 to 2005. So 7 years of bliss and wonderful students and being here in the community. And
well, you're still with us in the community, and we're going to get to see you on stage in a great big way this coming Saturday night.
It's an honor and a blessing. There's
lots of music, lots of pieces of music that will be presented to the audience, and it's just a time to just really feel it and get into it.
Absolutely. You were talking about the patriotism of after World War II and all that, and when you go on the square for this event, that's all back. It's you know, if you think we don't feel that anymore, you just come down there and you'll be pumped up again. It's just the patriotism there is just. It's just brimming all over. It's great.
Bring the young ones, bring the little children,
Yes.
bring the teenagers, bring the ones who really might not have experienced this kind of hometown feeling before.
Right. And we have a tribute every year to one of the many traditions to the military branches. And to me, when those men stand up, when their song is played, it's just amazing, and you see all ages, and it's humbling to see them and see the pride that they still have in their military branch, but yet the humbleness. You know, some of them are almost reluctant to stand up because they don't want the attention, but yet it's an honor to their military branch, so they do it.
And for many, it's an effort to stand up.
Can be, yes.
But they come, we wait, and they get up, and we recognize them.
It's great. It's great. So yes, bring your lawn chairs, bring your family, bring your blankets, whatever you want to bring, and come early. The concert starts at 8, but if you wait until 8, you're not going to have a good place to sit because the crowds come early. So just come early and make a fun afternoon of it. All the restaurants downtown will be open for their regular hours, and then we have some restaurants that will be set up on the south side of the square with concession type foods, if you want to do that rather than go into a restaurant.
The south side is the shady side of the street.
Yes.
And also it's opposite the Veterans Memorial.
Right. Yes. It's in front of Plain and Fancy, everything unique, that side. Yeah.
And even if you already ate supper, you're still going to want something through the evening.
Oh, sure. That's right. That's part of it. We do make an effort to limit the vendors downtown because we don't want this to become an event where you're constantly being plagued to buy this, that kind of thing. Just come out and enjoy it. And so that is one reason we have limited the vendors that are down there to downtown restaurants.
What about transportation?
Okay, this year the trolley will be running. They're going to pick up at the VF Outlet Mall, and then they'll be dropping off at the corner of Oak and Gilmer, right there, the corner by the First Baptist Church, and then they'll return you back to your car at the end of the concert. Don't have the exact times, but just watch for social media. We'll give it to you. It'll be on your website, paper, everywhere we can get it out when we know exact times. But they'll be running before the concert and after, and that will help alleviate the parking issue. If you'd rather just not look for parking, just take the trolley ride.
And it's fun, and it's big and breezy, and it's a good experience getting in that thing. And
That's
then,
right. That's right.
Free transportation.
Yes. That's why we're talking about transportation. I want to remind everyone that we have changed the site from where we shoot the fireworks. It's the same as last year because of the new jail, which is wonderful. It did create an issue with where we could shoot the fireworks. There are legal requirements. You can't shoot within so many feet of a jail or a hospital or any. So there are requirements, and there's a reason why we do it where we do it. And there are places around the square that are just too low. We can't use. So although it's not ideal, it's the best we can come up with after a lot of research from the fireworks department, safety people, the police, everyone. So there's going to be some parking restrictions and pedestrian restrictions on Jefferson Street. So we just ask that you come early, so you can work around that, and be respectful when someone says you can't go there, then you really can't go there. There's a reason. We're not just being mean. It's for safety. The fireworks company is very conscious of safety, and we're glad. So just come early and relax and have a good time.
Well, there's nothing like the feeling of being at that concert. And if you haven't been there before, it's hard to describe. It's hard to make them feel it and it's just more than the music. It's more than the night. Mm-hmm. It's more than the crowd. It's something intangible but real.
Yes. Well put.
That just makes you love your hometown, your country, and your fellow man.
Absolutely. I will say that I didn't come to this very often before I got involved, and I'm sorry for the years I missed because I wouldn't miss it now. Even if I wasn't involved, I wouldn't miss it. It's great. And I want to, before we run out of time, I want to thank the two sponsors that make this possible, Grocery Supply and Alliance Bank. The Symphony League does put it on. It is our responsibility, but we get a lot of help from the city. No financial help, but a lot of man hours and support. But Grocery Supply and Alliance Bank have been supporters of this from the very beginning, and without them, it wouldn't be happening. So if you know anybody at either of those two places, just give them a big thank you, because it's a great event for the town.
Well, and I don't know that we'll see birthday balloons flying, but Alliance Bank's 90th birthday is a little bit linked into this celebration being, we're still in June. So the vendors are there with the food. We've got transportation getting you to the site and back. Mm-hmm. Bring your seating. If you don't, there's some little short walls and places around there that you can sit in. There's grass. And bring a blanket.
And for the veterans, we reserve 100 chairs up front for any veterans and their family. So we'd love for you to come sit up front and enjoy the symphony. Okay. Feel free to use those chairs.
Okay, and it's absolutely free. Oh, I know what I was going to put in. The Symphony League holds the auction in the fall here in our studios, radio TV auction, to raise a portion of the money that pays for it.
Correct, we do. Thank you for that. And then also KSST will be giving away flags at the concert this year, as usual. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I think we'll be together in a tent there.
Yes, and we're going to be looking for members. Yes.
Okay. We will be also broadcasting the concert live for those who cannot attend, and then taping it, as Doug will do, for playback on Ch.18 TV. Right. Added to our archives, I think right now we're playing all the archived years. We may have, 26 years?
That'd be awesome.
Is it 26th? Yep, 26th annual. I don't know that we've missed one.
That's fun.
Kelly, I'm looking forward to your portion of the concert and your love for the music.
I'm looking forward to performing.
Yeah.
And I'll request prayers. Thank you.
Okay. That's lovely and that's humble. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.